the Tech Aesthetic Podcast. My name's Eric.
Podcast. My name's Randy.
Yeah, and we're
Hi.
here.
Hi, friends.
We're here for the podcast. This is a tech podcast, and we got some cool
tech edition.
topics
The
today.
tech edition. The tech edition.
What are we going to talk about, dude? Consoles. We're going to talk about
interesting topic, right?
Xbox, PlayStation. You know those things. We're going to talk about some kind of Keystone. You were telling me about
you
it.
ordered something today.
Yeah,
so
I
that's
talk
kind of
about that.
exciting.
Oh
Yeah.
man, okay. Let me lead with that.
All I have to do is like hint at that, and
Oh,
you just
no.
like chomp at the bit. Like
I
you
have
are
to.
just,
I have to.
You're just ready to go.
So
I'm
you
like,
know, let's
my
just,
hype isn't there, but
we'll talk about it right now because we have to.
Oh, here we go.
So,
Here we go.
I have to just lead with
Hold
it.
on. If you're talking about this, I get to talk about camera stuff.
Oh, dude, I'm all about camera stuff.
All
Dude.
right,
In fact, you know, it's like that light you tried to get me to get. I'm really close to buying it because it is so good.
It's busted,
so
right, man?
good.
It's
Yeah.
busted, dude.
It's
Yeah.
not like the price that I wanted to pay right now, but then it's also the best light ever.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and
it's
like it's not
actually
that
a
much
good
more
price.
expensive.
It's
Yeah,
actually-
dude. Yeah, I was gonna say
yeah.
like for what it does and for what it has, it's
Yeah.
not that different than the
Yeah.
than the Amaran you have now.
Yeah,
But anyway,
yeah.
anyway, you bought something.
So I bought something, and honestly, I gotta give Randy a shout out for this because this is
Aw.
all thanks to him. So you know, you guys know we talk Steam Deck, and I'm very excited about it. I'm like unbelievably excited about it, and I'm so excited that you know I asked Randy, and well, Randy graciously offered. He's like, "Yo, man, like." My position in line is literally
position,
30
dude.
minutes ahead of you.
They put that into context, right? Because like 30 minutes doesn't sound like a lot.
It doesn't.
You know what I mean?
But
So-
in this case, so the way the orders have been, with the specifically US 512 orders, they've been unable to ship past like the first 30 minutes of orders. They haven't really broke.
Let me
that
ask you
until
a question.
now.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Why is that? Is
Well-
that supply chain? Is there something in there that's like super unique?
No, I think it's a few things. I think one of it is supply chain, but I think it's Valve not having that logistics kind of supply chain established for hardware.
Sure, because like I was
right?
reading something, and like again, like it's internet
Yeah.
articles, right? But they said that like Steam Deck didn't even ship like 20,000 units yet. I don't know if that's true or not, but
It wouldn't surprise me, right? Like, so the problem is Valve really just doesn't have it set up. Like, think about the hardware they put out, right? They got like they did the Steam controller, not anymore. They did like the
is that
Steam
discontinued?
Link. Yeah, I don't think it's in production anymore. I think it's
can I ask you a
discontinued.
question? Since you brought it up, why did the Steam Link fail?
The Steam Link, I think, is just redundant. Like, you can
Because the app is on like everything else.
Yeah, and honestly,
Okay.
I have a Steam Link.
I have
Because
one too.
they did like the $5 get a Steam Link thing, and I was like, why not?
That's why I have one as well.
Yeah, and,
Actually, yeah.
and like I used it. I think the wireless sucked on it. It has to be wired. I don't know, man. It's just not that good. It's just like why you don't need it anymore. Like you can stream now. Like I can do Steam Link to my Apple TVs,
Sure.
or you
Yeah, I
probably
guess that
can
makes
do it
sense.
on like any other sort of popular Android TV kind of device.
I think there's only one, right? Is there
Well,
more
the Shield
Android
TV
TVs
is the
than
one I
Shield
care
TV?
about. You know, what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but like, is there actually other ones?
Well,
don't know if
I
there
think
is other ones.
Sony TVs come with it, like built in.
Yeah, but that's built in, right? Like that's not something you can
Other
buy.
than that, like, yeah, I think the most. Does Google sell one?
No, they just have the Chromecast now.
Yeah, but don't they have like an upgraded Chromecast that has Google TV on it? I think so.
I don't know. I just know of the Ultra, which is like the 4K boy, and then like
Yeah,
the normal one.
but no, I think they sell like I'm gonna look
That'd
it
be cool
up.
if they did. Yeah, check it out, man. Check it out.
Yeah, because I'm just gonna type in Google TV and see what I get off of my search results. But I'm pretty sure they sell one. But yeah, but like now you can get the app for it. And
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean they have Chromecast with Google TV now, which is $50, and
That
it's an
basically the same
all-in-one.
thing?
It comes with a remote and everything. So I'll send you.
Okay.
I'll send you the link so you can kind of get
Okay.
eyes on it. And then they have one that's like HBO Max bundle with 3 months HBO Max included, whatever. Sounds pretty boring to me. But it's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, but those bundles always suck, right?
Yeah.
Because like
It's
this
nothing.
can sound really weird, but like I bought a phone case yesterday, right?
Oh,
And,
interesting.
And it came with 3 free months of Apple Music, but it's for new subscribers only.
Oh no.
So like I feel like, you know, like the loyal boys always get like shafted. You know what
Was
I
that
mean?
straight
It's
from
like,
Apple?
No, it's from Best Buy.
Okay, so Best Buy, you bought a case and they gave you a
A free trial to Apple Music. Yeah.
Yeah.
But only for new customers.
I mean, that doesn't cost Apple anything. That's literally just to get
Yeah,
people
right.
in. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right. Like,
Which
I'll
is
do
half
it,
the
yeah.
battle. So if they
But
can
how
get
about
people
you,
in,
how about you give some existing customers, you know, a free 3 months? That'd be
yeah, no, it doesn't. You already
locked
drink the
in, dude.
Kool-Aid,
Locked
so
in.
they gotta
Right.
give everyone the first hit is free. You know what I'm saying?
cool.
So that's how it works. But yeah, so anyway, what the hell were we talking about? So yeah, the Steam Link.
That boy.
So going back in time, Steam Link kind of flopped. It wasn't really useful for anybody. I mean, I'm sure some people used it, but like then they did the Index. So like the Index, they barely pump those out, right? And honestly, the market for that isn't huge.
Yeah, it's bizarre
right?
world
It's very
to me that like up
expensive,
until
right?
like maybe like 8 months ago,
Right.
like there was still like a lead time for those.
Yeah, and
know what I
that's the
mean?
thing. The Index is $1,000 for the bundle, so that's like already limiting your customer
Audience,
base.
right.
Yeah, so it's very it's still a premium product, and not many
And
people are
VR is
getting it.
already niche, right?
It is. So now you have the Steam Deck that comes in, and it's got a very low entry point, right? $350, I think, is the cheapest one, and then up to like 600 and some for the more premium one, which is a little bit easier to swallow. It's not as niche of a product because it's kind of like a Nintendo Switch, and those sell like hotcakes. You know, it's kind of like normal PC gaming, just mobile. You know, so
Sure.
the audience for it is a lot bigger. So I think it's just a combination of Valve not really being like the best at hardware and like, you know, having great partners with, you know, all these manufacturers and stuff. So it's probably a combination of things, but what do you think?
I honestly don't know, man. I just think that Valve is very poor at, I don't know if it's supply chain or if they, you know, always severely underestimate like their, you know, quote like just in time manufacturing, where like they assume, hey, we're going to sell 5,000 of these, so let's get the parts for 5,000, and then 20,000 come in and they're just like, uh-oh.
Yeah, but
You know
here's
what I
the
mean?
thing, right? Like the Steam Deck had a, like we've been holding onto these pre-orders for a long time, right? Like before they even, it's not like Apple where it's like we ship next week, put in your order now, right? Like it was like
Yeah.
a good amount of time between our orders and then they finally start shipping. So they kind of
mean,
had
like,
like this
I mean, like,
expectation.
It's also really weird to me because Valve is like the biggest digital storefront for games on
Yeah.
PC.
And they got
and, like,
buku money.
And like, well, not only that, man, but like the entire ordering process for the Steam Deck was probably the worst online shopping experience I've ever had.
Yeah,
like-
honestly, it's pretty bad. Yeah.
Like worse than trying to get a 3090 at launch, because at least that just said sold out, right? Like I couldn't even try anything. Whereas like the whole reason, like my order was 30 minutes behind and your order was what, like an hour and 12 minutes behind,
Correct.
was because the site just didn't work, right?
Yeah,
So like
it was bad.
and then like it got to the point where like if you just, because their site was failing, if you retried like 3 times, it locked you out of your account because
That's what happened to me.
Yeah.
Is like,
Well,
and I got locked
yeah.
out, and I kept trying to get in so persistently that I
Yeah.
could never get in. And
Yeah.
eventually, I just had to be like, okay, step back, wait, and then I tried it again when it said to, and it finally worked. But that was an hour and 16 minutes in,
Yeah.
and that's why your order was like way ahead of mine because like their website was weird.
Yeah,
Uh,
I just used a second account, but
Yeah.
like it's still like things like that. Like when Valve doesn't even get down like what their bread and butter is. That's kind of weird to me. I guess I don't know. You know what I mean? Though, like
Valve is a little bit weird like that because if you think about it, as the most popular storefront, you would think that. I guess it's just the lack of competition that's really drove them to innovate. Like you haven't really had
yeah.
that, you know, like because that happens in so many
well,
other
they
industries.
become complacent. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, it's like
Because if you look
it's
at
like
what,
oh, well, you know,
I think now we have serious competition with the Epic Game Store. I think being the biggest one, and you know they've kind of sucked in the beginning, but now they've been handing out free games like left and right. Like last week, I think Borderlands 3 was free.
oh wow,
And I'm like, dang, that game was like new. Like,
Yeah,
doesn't seem
yeah.
like long ago that was like a $60 title, and now you're giving out, and that's not even the first game. Like they've given out like crazy amounts of games.
I just remember, dude. that like when like the Epic Game Store and stuff came out, like people hated it, and like there wasn't really a good reason for it. It was just like it's not Steam,
Yeah.
you know, and like that's really confusing to me because like if you look at how Steam operates, right, like it's literally just a web wrapper, right? Like it still just loads the web page in an iframe essentially.
It's
and
not
like
nice.
yeah,
or anything, yeah.
like it's not even like a real app.
No, it's
you know, for all
not.
intents and purposes. It's just I don't know, and for some reason it works for them, and I get it, but like it's so frustrating when you try to like when you view Steam for 2000 since like 2003, I
Right.
think. And it's still like, and then you go to look at something, and it's like, are you sure you're 18? It's like, no, dude. Like,
Yeah, I heard they do that for legal reasons, but I don't know. That could be BS. Because I
well,
don't.
it could save your age if
Yeah.
it was like a real store. Like
Yeah.
PlayStation doesn't ask you after the
Yeah.
initial thing.
Good point.
So,
Good point.
anyway,
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know why
that's
they
where
do
I-
that. It's
yeah.
annoying.
Yeah.
I literally, out of spite, bring my age all the way back as far as it'll go. Like
Yeah.
January 1st, like 1900 or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Because I'm just like.
Time traveler.
Yeah. I'm literally just like, okay, I'm literally this old bitch.
Look at how
Let me
old
in.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm your elder.
Get off my ass, Steam. But yeah, I don't know, man. There was some concerns about the from the privacy perspective of the Epic Game Store, and from like I think there was some bad programming decisions that kind of had vulnerabilities in their initial launcher implementation. And
I'll be honest with you about that.
Yeah.
And like, not to cut you off, but like, I just live my life assuming that everything has a vulnerability that just hasn't been discovered yet. You know what I mean?
well,
And, like,
that's the facts, right?
yeah. So like,
Um,
and like, I don't even know if it's being actively exploited or not, right? Because you wouldn't know until the vulnerability is discovered. So
Well, that's another thing, is a vulnerability might not be a risk, right? Because like
right.
it might be like, okay, if someone's on your LAN, they can exploit this, but dude, no one's on your LAN. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's not a risk factor
Yeah.
for you. But yeah, I mean,
I ran into that today when like we run like a small intranet at work,
right?
and like one of the things we run on our intranet as a web portal, and then he's like, how come this website's not secure? How come there's no security certificate? How come
Yeah,
Google's
okay.
telling me? I'm like, well, it's an internet, dude. So
Yeah,
Calm
it's
down.
local. It's LAN. You're fine. Yeah, I get it. I mean, were you still running HTTPS? It just was self-signed or something?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's still secure. Like, it's just not. It's secure as in it's the traffic still being encrypted
yeah,
end to end. It's just not trusted, right?
Yeah.
You can't trust that the end user is who it says it is unless you have the certificates. But anyway, dude, you got me stressed out because certificates are my life at work. Holy shit.
yeah. There you go. I'm gonna stress you out. But anyway, back to Steam. Yeah. So you got your order in.
Yeah, I got my order in. So Randy graciously let me take his order, basically, and he gave me his account info. I've been watching it, and just before
Like
the
a hawk,
podcast, dude, I check it because I have it literally up like in a browser tab, and I was like, well, while I'm here, might as well just check it out. And sure enough, it's like there, and I think my like. I don't know, man. Like I just like saw it and I'm just like, oh my God, Randy, get on here, bitch.
I had no idea why. Because like there's days where like we're like 5 o'clock and he's like, all right, 5:05.
I know.
You know. I'm like,
No, but this time I was like, oh my God, I can't wait any longer, dude. I got to ask him, are you sure I can have this? Because I'm about to
Yeah.
check out. But yeah, man, I'm super excited. So I don't know how long it takes to get
So
to
I just
me,
want to
or-
preface it that like I still maybe want one.
Yeah,
Just, like,
so I
like,
still
the
have my
audience
order.
Understands.
Yeah.
But like Eric is like the guy who like pre-ordered it and then he's waiting at his front door
Yeah,
for
exactly.
like a year. So
Like I'm probably gonna take like a week off to fuck with the thing, you know.
Yeah, and,
Like I
like-
want to do a review for my
And,
YouTube
like,
channel.
you know, me personally, I'm still struggling to find a use case.
Yeah,
Because like for those of you who don't know, like my house is I guess technically 3 stories because I have a finished basement. Like it's 2 with the basement, but the basement's fully finished, and that's where I spend like 99% of my time.
Yeah,
and it's
that's
kind of
your
like
man
open
cave,
concept.
dude.
So like literally, if I'm watching TV, my computer is like 2 feet away.
yeah,
You know, so like it's like where am I gonna? What's my use case for this? Like it's cool and I want it, but like that my use case ends out of cool
Yeah.
tech. You know,
right.
So,
No, I totally get it, man. Like for me, it's a little bit more practical to be able
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
because like you know my family and whatever. Like if I want to hang out with them, but still be able to play like a game, And so it's kind of like a good in between. Instead of
Yeah.
sitting in my like man cave, kind of like by myself, I can kind of escape
Right.
the shackles of my PC and still be able to play PC games on, without like a laptop or something like that. So it's kind of a little bit more, I don't know, easy to walk around with,
Yeah.
which I think
get it.
is really cool, really cool. So I don't know, I'm super excited. Steam Deck, it's
I'm
gonna be
excited
awesome,
for you.
dude. I'll talk about it next. Next podcast, it'll be WWDC.
No, it won't.
It won't?
Wait, depends if we take a week off.
Well, we're taking when's WWDC? It's like on
Next, not this week coming up, but the week after that.
yeah, which is because we normally do the week off, right?
Yeah.
So
So I
we
guess
do.
it will be. I guess it will be.
Yeah. So I mean,
and
we'll
you'll have a
probably.
Steam Deck by then, right?
Do you know what day it is? Is
It's
it
the
on
6th or the 10th.
Oh wow, it's the whole time.
It always is, but like,
Do they lead
they're
with their good
announcing-
shit?
yeah, they like open up with like all the hardware and all the new stuff.
Okay, so
And
we'll
then the
have
rest
our,
is like app developer,
okay.
mongoloid stuff.
So what we should do is like we'll probably do our podcast early in the week. If we want to catch the announcement,
like a Monday.
yeah, which I'm cool with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by then I should have the Steam Deck, so I'll probably spend like a couple seconds talking about it, summary.
Uh-huh.
But like I don't want to like
A
waste
couple
that.
seconds, dude.
Listen, I
seconds,
gotta
dude.
have a lot of restraint because I'm like very excited.
I know. I'm
but-
excited for you.
I'm gonna have all the restraint in the world because like WWDC is gonna be a big week for us. I think
Sure.
it's gonna be awesome. Super excited to talk about whatever happens. But the Steam Deck, yeah, that can wait. Anyway, man, so that's pretty much the Steam Deck out of the way.
Yeah, let's keep
keep
in,
going.
with the game.
You know what? We had a deal though.
Leak.
Oh
What's the
wait,
deal? Oh yeah, but let's just go games first.
okay, I'm all about games.
Yeah,
TCL, they're the TV guys.
they are
right?
the TV guys.
So how did they
They-
leak something? Like, okay, so you talked to me about it earlier, but just tell the podcast what
Yeah,
happened.
so actually, I can do you one better podcast.
Oh,
I'll pull up the article and then you can
my
bring it up.
gosh.
Is that possible? Do you have the
Oh,
technology? set?
I think we do. We have the technology for that. Just
Bring it up, my guy.
give me the link.
There you go.
Boop. All right. So I'm going to pull it up for the podcast to see. Tom's Guide. Here we go. TCL just teased the next PS5 and Xbox Series X.
Is this the one that shows the slide? No, it's not.
So let's see what people say about it here. Give me so basically the next, so that PS5 also?
Yeah, both of them.
So we're going to get a new PS5 refresh and an Xbox refresh also.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So do you think we'll get like PS5 Pro and maybe Xbox Series?
Well, here's
whatever?
the slide. Here's the slide. Tell me if this.
Oh, you
works
have
for
a slide.
I do. I have the actual leak, dude.
Sure. Leak me, man. I want to see it.
That should work for you.
I see
Hopefully
it.
it
Okay.
works. Right?
I see it. Hold on. I'm going to copy the link. All right. So we got the slide. Game console generations 2022 product introduction. Gen 8, Gen 8.5, blah, blah. Hold on. New Xbox Series and then PS5 Pro. So yeah,
Right,
PS5
so-
Pro is the sensible title.
Name?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like no one knows what Xbox is going to be yet. But essentially, what I believe happened was like they were justifying some of the new features in their televisions. Like making 8K more mainstream and some other video game features. And then they showed the slide that's like, well, in 2023/4, we're getting a new PS5 Pro that's not even going to do anything under 4K. It's going to be 4K 60 to 120, and it's going to do 8K in
Wow.
quality mode.
This is wild to me. So
So I just want to unpack this a little bit.
sure.
Like, are we getting to a point now where like PCs are maybe not going to be like a thing? Not a thing, but like, you know what I mean? Or what I'm trying to say, at least, where like
I don't know what you're trying to say.
we're
Spell
like,
it out for me because
Sure,
I
so,
don't think
like-
PCs are going to stop being a thing, man.
No, I think what I'm getting at is like the gap between usable performance and what graphics we're capable of is smaller. So like I feel like even the like even recently, like in the past maybe like 3 or 4 years.
Right.
I don't think a game like graphically has really come out that like really wowed me. And like the small graphical improvements we are getting, I mean, RTX is, it's relatively small in terms of where it's being used, right? But
Correct,
like the cost to performance, like not dollar cost, but horsepower cost,
right,
for the RTX gain. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of
what
like
you're
that like
saying
90-10 rule. You know what I mean? Where like,
yeah,
are we going to get to a point where like consoles can do 90% of the graphical performance and then PCs are only have like a 10% gap? Because I don't know about you, but like I really haven't seen like a game that was like, oh wow, that looks insane in like the past 3 years. Like they all kind of look the same.
So here's my comment on it. I think that we're gonna reach a point, whether it's gonna be the next generation, the current generation, or what have you, but we're gonna get there, where the console fidelity will be enough to where that
that's kind
won't
of what I
be
was
the
trying to say.
reason you buy a PC.
Right. With that 90-20, with that 90-10 rule I said, where like a console looks like 90% as good as a PC.
Right, exactly. So like you'll always be able to get a better PC experience just because we have like, we can do more on the PC.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. But the consoles are going to be so good that you're going to get these premium experiences on them as well.
Right.
They might not be so that. Here's the cool thing about how the consoles are approaching, like 4K, 8K, and things like that. They're doing very smart rendering techniques,
like that checkerboarding thing.
exactly, where they can target parts of the image and apply sharpening algorithms or like give more resolution to like certain key areas of the image and less resolution to other areas. So they're being very smart with how they use the power within, and that's giving them a lot more visual gains, right?
Sure.
So that's really cool. And I think that's honestly a great way to approach like these problems, which are 4K and 8K, right? Like these are huge problems because that's a lot of horsepower required for gaming at those resolutions and at the frame rates that you're targeting. So
yeah, like that's kind of like the point I was getting at was like, there we may slowly be coming or like getting to a point where like, PC graphics becomes less of a reason to invest in a PC, I guess.
No, you're 100% right. I think that it's really cool. So like for this announcement specifically, PS5 Pro, I think it's cool. Like obviously we're going to get next gen. They call it Gen 9.5 on this slide, but the cool thing is they're targeting, it looks like 4K in the 60 to 120 range, which is really interesting.
It is really interesting, yeah.
Because that's honestly like a really great spot to be. 8K. Now, the fact that you even talk about 8K is kind of baffling to me because I don't see a world where 8K is normal. I just don't see it. Not right now.
I don't
just
either.
Don't,
like
I'm sure we will get there, but I just don't see it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but like you have a PS5 as well, right?
Right.
I'm pretty sure the PS5 box has 8K on it.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm pretty sure it does. Which
is like why? Like it might be able to
because
it might be able to output
the average consumer, right? Right. That's what it does, right?
Yeah.
It
can support 8K.
It's technically 8K ready,
Yeah, which it doesn't mean it's gonna like render your game at 8K. It just can output to an 8K display. Maybe it can do like your UI in 8K.
Yeah, dude.
But other than that, yeah. So technically, but the fact that they're trying to get games to run at 8K. Now they're trying that, right?
Top right.
Okay, so you sent me something. Okay, hold on.
Sorry.
Whenever I get these images, I gotta download them first.
Yeah, dude.
So yeah, because I don't have anyway. Okay, so I'm pulling it up for the podcast to see. So this is a PS5, and it says at the top, 8K, 4K, 120, and HDR. Okay,
yeah,
so,
weird, right?
So
I thought it did, but that's weird to me because to your point, it's never going to run anything in 8K.
No.
Well,
no. But
8K only really makes sense on like a production side.
Okay, yeah, I agree. So like 8K, right? Like even with the largest TV, 4K is like enough resolution. I really feel it's just so good. Like I don't see a point where I need 8K. 6K would be nice. Like so right now we're running these displays are these are 48-inch displays that we use as monitors, so we're relatively close to them. So at 4K, at this distance, at this size, yeah, I can see the pixels, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
It's still pretty good pixel ratio, but it's not like Apple Retina. You know what I'm saying?
But at the same time,
yeah, go ahead.
My television is 4K,
Right.
and it's 83 inches.
Right.
And from where I sit for that,
Right.
I can't see them.
No, not even close. Like for most TVs, 8K is not even like the only time it really matters is if you're right up on a 4K display, like we are with these monitors. That's the only time 8K would really matter, right? Is you have a giant display and you're very close to it. Like the 4K is like really good. You know what I mean? I think display manufacturers, I feel like they need to focus on good HDR. They need to focus on like great color. And that's it, dude. Like don't like resolution shouldn't be the thing we're chasing.
No, but, I get that. No, that makes perfect sense.
I don't want to get on a tangent about it because I definitely could. Displays, you know, like I think like what we have now where Samsung's putting out their new QD OLED, I think that's very exciting, but we're still not there. Like even the QD OLEDs have brightness issues. Like we still can't get crazy HDR experiences. And that's what I think they need to do. And you know what's nuts about HDR? All they got to do is slap really good heat sinks on these displays. Like it's the heat problem. It seems like that's what I remember hearing from like HD TV Tech. They're like, yo, the heat sinks on these OLEDs aren't good enough to support higher peak brightnesses.
So
sustained.
I've heard twofold, and like not a TV expert, guys. So like don't like please take this as just what I've read, and I can't prove it, but it's what I've read. Is that also with current OLED technology, the brighter you run them, the shorter their lifespan is.
Yeah, and that makes total sense, right? Like that makes sense. But like it's like what's limiting the displays from doing it? Part of it is the lifespan problem, and a part of it is the heatsink problem. It seems like it's both.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, you can run it brighter, but your display's not gonna last very long.
So speaking of TCL,
sure,
we're opening up a satellite office at work, and we had to buy a conference room television.
Sure.
And I opted for a TCL.
Yep.
Because it was $1,000 for a 65-inch, but it's mini LED, so I'm kind of excited to see it.
Wow, dude! Let me know how it is.
Yeah, like
really cool.
That's kind of cool, isn't it? Like the price isn't that bad,
TCL, let me say, they make very affordable TVs.
Yeah,
I have one in my bedroom actually, and it's a 4K, like 55-inch. It was very cheap. It was like $350 or something, dude.
Speaking of bedroom TVs, this podcast is all over the place. I'm sorry. I have like a 2013 Sony Bravia, like a 43-inch, in my bedroom, and I can't get rid of it because of one feature that like I've never seen TVs have.
What?
Ever. It has a picture off button.
A picture off button?
Right.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's ideal for the bedroom because sometimes like I'll put on a podcast, like a visual podcast,
right?
But like I don't want the light; I just want to listen to it.
Oh yes, dude, I so have that same problem.
So
like I'll throw up a YouTube video, but I don't want the video. I just want the music.
Want to listen to it. Right? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, same thing.
Perfect.
And
dude.
like this is the only TV I've ever seen on planet Earth that has a picture off button.
That's amazing.
So because of that, I could never get rid of this television.
Yeah. No, that's so perfect.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, because I thought about like, is there a way I could hook it up to a receiver and get like but no, there's really not. There's really not.
Yeah.
So like that's wild. You know what I do on my TCL TV? It's like in hindsight, the TCL TV is not that great, right? Mm-hmm. But it runs like Roku TV and like they don't give you too many display options. But what I did is I configured one of the display modes like to be like lowest brightness possible, and like there's like a power saving mode, and then there's like a brightness, or there's like a black and white setting. So that's literally as dark as I can get it to go.
Yeah.
So that's what I have to do. It's
crazy cool. Yeah, it's crazy neat that like it has a picture off button, and like literally, I've tried to replace it like twice just because it's an older TV, and admittedly, I do use it a lot because I lay in bed and I watch something,
Yeah.
and I literally can't because every time I've tried to find a replacement, I check the remote to see if it has a picture off button.
Yeah. And then it doesn't. You're gonna be disappointed, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's really
cool,
rough,
you know?
dude.
Yeah. It's a good
like,
feature.
It is
So
a cool
fancy.
feature. It's a very cool feature. I wish all TVs did it. But yeah, man, let's talk about the actual consoles.
Yeah.
So like, is this too soon?
It seems really soon.
2023/2024.
But also maybe not, because that's like 3 years. I mean, like it probably doesn't seem like that for a lot of people because these consoles have been so hard to get. Like just now, people are probably buying their first PS5. So it seems a little aggressive, I think, from a supply chain aspect. You know what I mean?
Because not everyone. It's not like you've saturated the market.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
the consoles yet.
Yeah.
So, because like there was a time I remember reading about the console history, like Nintendo specifically had this problem. This is way back in the day with the NES. They reached like market saturation in the United States to where they weren't selling any more NESs because everyone had one. This is like, and then they initially were like, because they were trying to delay the Super Nintendo in the United States. And I think it's fascinating because they were like, okay, well, the NES is selling so good, we don't need to release it yet. It was out in Japan, but they were like, we don't need to release it in the United States yet because they were still selling like hotcakes. But then eventually it dipped because like it was like 1 in 3 households had a NES, and like that was like as good as it's gonna get. So yeah, and then eventually, so it's kind of funny.
To your point,
we're still kind of like they probably are still growing, right?
Right.
Like
Oh,
the
for sure
current
they
ones.
are.
Yeah.
And to your point, Nintendo has always had like an interesting sales like logic, I guess, because I forget what I was watching, but it was some like documentary on YouTube because I'm a weirdo, and it was talking about like video game sales,
Right.
and like how you notice Nintendo games never go on sale,
Yes.
and then they made the comment that's like, our market data still shows that our sales figures are still meeting our predictions at full price.
Yeah.
So if we're still pushing the volume that we're predicting at full price, it doesn't benefit us to put something on sale.
No.
And like that makes sense from a business standpoint. You know what I mean? Like,
it's a financial decision, man. It's wild. And like honestly, think about it. Nintendo's first party titles are bangers, right?
oh, they're all good. They're all great. Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And they honestly they're so unique. They're their own category, right? Nintendo first party titles are like their own thing. Nobody's doing it.
They're like their own genre.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like they can get away with it, but it sucks because we come from like Steam, and like there's sales all the time, deep sales.
Yeah. And to that point, though, man, like with Nintendo like being their own genre, I also always feel that like during reviews, people review Nintendo games differently.
Well, I think you're right, dude. They compare them against other Nintendo games.
Like, for example,
Right.
When Breath of the Wild first came out, that game ran like hot garbage.
Yeah.
Like terrible frame rate. But it still got an amazing score. Like if literally any other game, like look at Cyberpunk, dude. Like Cyberpunk got trashed because it ran like hot garbage.
Yeah.
But because Nintendo game runs like hot garbage, it's like, oh well, it's like harder and fun and great, Like I feel like that like Nintendo always gets a pass for that, and like Nintendo also gets a big pass for never having voice actors. Like if like another AAA game came out, like imagine if Ghost of Tsushima came out and it wasn't voiceovered, it was just text.
Yeah, that would kill me.
They would get raked over the coals, dude. But because it's Nintendo, it's like, oh well, no Nintendo game has it. You know what I mean? Like it's okay because
It just depends,
it's a Nintendo
right?
game.
One of the things Nintendo prioritizes is a gameplay experience, not really a storytelling fidelity experience.
I don't know. I think like Three Houses or whatever that Fire Emblem had a great story.
Yeah, and that was voice acted. So
was it?
Yeah, in a lot of it. I mean, there was a lot of voice acting in Fire Emblem Three Houses. There just wasn't. The main character didn't talk. It was one of those.
Oh, okay,
right?
okay.
But there was a lot of voice acting in Three Houses. But like other than that, there's like most Nintendo IPs just don't even bother with like a voice acting.
Sure.
It's because their focus isn't really on that. It's on the game. The
Yeah.
game. It's about being a game, not like
Yeah.
a storytelling experience as much
I
as
get
it is
that. I think
a sandbox experience.
I think to kind of, add credence to your argument, I've been playing the new Mario Golf game, and
Okay.
like that game is so I got it a while ago. Like
Yeah.
I think Kelly got it for me on Mario Day, but like it's literally like I keep my Nintendo Switch next to my bed, and I basically like if I feel like playing a game before bed, like that's what I'll play. I'll play the Mario Golf on my Switch,
Dude, we should play
and like
that.
and like that game is so like unrealistic.
Yeah,
But it's so fun at the same time.
it is
But
fun.
it still scratches that itch of a golf game for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's so different in the gameplay, yet it's still a golf game.
Right.
If that kind of makes sense.
It's
It sounds
because
weird.
it has
You know what I mean?
golf mechanics. You know what I mean? So you're still using kind of like your brain cells to like, okay, the wind is that. Okay, use this club, aim this way, put a spin on it, maybe. Like
yeah. No, I think it's
fun.
great. Yeah,
It's fun.
it's fun. Yeah, it's a barrel of fun.
We should play multiplayer sometime.
Yeah, man, let's do
I
it.
played it with like a couple of the boys before. It's always fun.
Me and the boys.
Me and the
dude.
boys. So, yeah, man. But yeah, Nintendo do good, on their
Yeah.
games. And but yeah, it's funny that Nintendo's not even included on this this PowerPoint for the TCL.
Well, it's bizarre because like
they don't-
anything they come out with that's pro wise,
Yeah,
probably honestly won't even be as powerful as like the PS4 Pro.
not even. No, it won't. And shit, if anyone's due for a refresh, it's Nintendo. They've had the Switch out for 5 years now, I think.
Yeah,
And we haven't had like a refresh other than the OLED, which was a display upgrade.
it's
and
great
that's
though.
about it.
Like that.
I mean, it's the best way to play a Switch.
In
You know
my
what I mean?
opinion, the Switch OLED was worth the money to me. Because I primarily play in handheld, as per our previous conversation, and like the old one, between battery life and that horrific screen, was not playable in handheld. For me, at least.
For me, no, I agree. So what I think they should have done, though, I mean, I know that it's probably too much, but what we wanted was a Switch Pro, right? We
Everyone
wanted more
that, yeah.
power. We wanted, like a new Tegra chip. We wanted, and give us the OLED as well. Like that's what I want. I want like a Switch OLED.
You know what
but with
I
the
think
new
that they
Tegra.
could do that would be really easy?
Sure.
They should release a Pro dock that just has like a second Tegra in it that just does graphics.
That'd be awesome.
And then that way you still have your same power consumption when it's portable, but you don't have all of these like goofy downscaling or frame rate problems when it's plugged into the dock.
I mean, I'd be game for that solution. I think that
so would I.
I'd be happy with that. I don't know if it's easy to implement.
I don't know if it's easy to implement either, but I'm kind of just going off the whole like
Yeah.
eGPU nonsense.
Well, I'll tell you
know
what they're going to do. I can read the future. So, they've been partnering with NVIDIA. We're going to get DLSS, right? We're going to
Okay.
that's how they're going to be able to do things like 4K, all these things. It's not going to be native. It's going to be
Well,
like
let me ask you a
1080p
question.
upscaled.
Doesn't the hardware need a specific instruction set to do DLSS? And does the Tegra have that? The
I'm
current
pretty
Tegra?
sure, does DLSS require like Tensor Core?
It runs on Tensor cores,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it can emulate on.
I don't think
normal
it's going to
cores.
happen on the current Switch,
Okay.
right? So it's
Yeah.
going to be new hardware. It's going to include the hardware required for DLSS on board.
Okay.
And that's how they're going to get away with like higher fidelity. It's not going to be native. It's just going to be
Sure.
upscaled. And I think honestly, upscaling technology has gone a long way right now. DLSS, the latest versions are
so
really
it's going to
good.
be a Steam Deck essentially.
Yeah, and I mean the Steam Deck isn't even that good, like as for DLSS. Like it does FSR, which is like not good.
It's like budget deal.
It's budget DLSS, and honestly, let me tell you this: it's not worth using on the Steam Deck because the Steam Deck screen
Oh, really?
resolution is already low as shit, right? 720p. So
like,
if you downscale,
Can we talk about that for a little bit?
Sure.
Because I remember you follow it more closely. I remember in a previous in a previous podcast, you and I had discussed that DLSS or FSR was going to be like the Steam Deck's like white whale. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like it brought it all together. So
So,
this is really interesting for you to say
let me
otherwise.
tell you what I think. So
Okay.
FSR is cool.
Give me your thoughts.
But it has to be intelligent. So if you just like FSR the entire screen, and you include within that the UI, it's going to be so hard to read anything, right? Because you're downscaling is already low resolution image, not really downscaling, but you're rendering the game at like a lower resolution, right? So it might be like really low, and then you're upscaling it to native, so that you're taking a low resolution, and then you're upscaling to 720p, which is already a low resolution. So it's really hard when you don't have that much information to work with. Like a 1080p image has enough on screen resolution wise where if you upscale it to 4K, you can kind of get that fidelity.
All right, that makes sense.
You know what
That
I mean?
makes
It has
sense, yeah.
enough to work with, but like at lower resolutions, it's just not enough. It's just not enough. One thing I saw is if a game supports FSR like within the game and not really like the global Steam Deck FSR implementation, it's better because then they can do intelligent FSR implementation where like the UI is exempt, so you can still have a very sharp and readable UI, but then like the game
That makes sense.
render resolution behind the UI.
I didn't know it worked that way. That's
Yeah,
pretty
so
cool.
there's ways to apply it in a layered way. And that is a little bit smarter. But even then, you're going to still see weird aliasing artifacts and other FSR related artifacts at that low resolution. I'm not saying FSR is bad, but I just don't think it's what I'm going to use on the Steam Deck. I really don't. It's already low resolution. So
you're just going to run native with lower graphics.
I mean, I'm going to test FSR. But yeah,
Right.
I from what I've seen, native is the way to go. Lower graphics, and one of the coolest things the Steam Deck adds is a 40. You can change the refresh rate. So one of the things people recommend is going to 40 hertz on the display because 40 FPS is way better than 30. Right? You're literally getting like, I don't know, a significant
33%.
Yeah, 33%, 1/3 more frames, right? Which is a big chunk, right? You're getting that many more frames. And so even though you might not be able to hit 60, 40 is kind of a sweet spot because you're getting the battery life gains of having a lower refresh rate,
Listen to this guy,
lower
dude,
frame
PC
rates.
gamer making an argument for 40 FPS. Dude.
Listen, some games you just can't expect.
Making an argument.
You
for
can't
40
expect.
FPS.
No, I'm serious. Like you can
That's
do
busting me.
people like Elden Ring, right? New game, right? Brand new game. Put it on the Steam Deck. Can it make 60 FPS? Maybe if you lower graphics all the way to fucking low. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Maybe
Yeah.
then. But if you want to play it medium to high, which is like medium is kind of like where you want to be, right?
Sure.
You're still not hitting. You're getting like 49 frames on the Steam Deck. So like just save the battery life because you're only if you're maxing TDP on the Steam Deck, you're getting 1.5 hours of like an hour and a half max. That's for like full to empty, dude. That's nothing. That's
Yeah.
no time at all. So
Right.
just frame limit to 40. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah, that's fair.
get a smoother experience, a consistent frame rate experience at 40, right? Better battery life. There's just no, it's a big win.
Yeah.
The 40 FPS mode. So that's
can
what I
understand
recommend.
that.
Anyway, look at us jumping topics, dude. I really want to stay on topic, but
I know we're not good at this.
we're not good, dude. We're not good. So what were we talking about? Okay. Xbox, all that, whatever. It's a little soon.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I don't even have an Xbox Series X or anything. So
I do. I use mine a lot.
do you?
I use it all.
Do you have a PS5?
constantly. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you have all the consoles. So is your Xbox your main one?
So if I'm playing a game and that game is multi-platform, I usually tend to give it on the Xbox because the Xbox is a little bit more powerful. But if it's platform like specific, and like I had to buy it on PS5, and obviously I'll buy it on PS5.
Naturally. That's why we have all
so-
the consoles.
Yeah,
The exclusives. So it's a good time to switch topics.
good time to switch topics.
But it's kind of similar because we're going to
It's a
talk about
very
the
similar topic.
xCloud thingy.
Keystone, the Keystone.
Keystone, dude.
Well, that's probably
Kidney
just one of the-
stone, more like
Kidney
it.
Stone, dude.
Shit.
Power Stone.
So check this out. So Xbox Keystone, I don't know anything about it, but to summarize, it's going to be like Xbox. It's going to be Microsoft's
It's going to be Stadia version.
Yeah.
Microsoft.
It's going to
flavored.
be for Xbox xCloud. It's going to be like buying a Chromecast. It's going to be buying a Steam Link, but for xCloud.
I'll tell you what though, dude. If you travel a lot, like
Yeah.
for work and stuff, that's probably a pretty good pickup
Why?
because you could plug into your hotel room television.
Yeah, maybe, but you can plug your laptop into it.
Okay, maybe not everyone has a laptop. How about that? How about that? How about them apples?
I guess, yeah. I mean, that's the one.
I
but, like,
literally work
does
with.
that really make it a killer app? Like because you're going to a hotel?
No, I'm giving a use case here, dude. I'm being devil's advocate. I'm
Not
being
trying to
devil's
bust your
advocate.
balls on it. I'm just saying. Doesn't seem like enough.
I would probably get one for Kelly's apartment, so when I'm over there, I could play Xbox games without having to take my stuff. Just leave it there permanently.
Can you not play xCloud on like a, what do you call those things? Google TV stuff? Like
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Probably in the browser, right? Like, so you probably could do a browser.
You have to do a browser on iOS devices because Apple blocks it because it's a game store.
Isn't that wild that Apple still does that?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it's for streaming stuff. It should be exempt. Come on.
I agree. I concur.
Yeah. So
All in favor?
So
All opposed?
let me just say, I don't really care about xCloud at all. I don't.
I don't either.
I don't care. Now the only time I think you should care is if you get like free xCloud access to games you already own. Like I think you do with some. Don't you do that with some? What do you call it? Games. Like if you have Game Pass, don't you get like some xCloud access?
I'm not too sure how it works.
Okay.
Like for my mobile gaming needs, I still just use Parsec. It's just it works really well for me.
Which is basically your own personal cloud streaming service, right?
Yeah.
So
From PC. So
like, I don't know, man. I see people enjoying xCloud on Reddit. You know,
it's super popular.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
I think that again, I think you and I are still very fortunate people in terms of like income and stuff like that. But like, if you could open up the world of Game Pass with a $30 cost to entry, maybe there's something there.
Okay, so what you're saying is like you do a Game Pass, you do a subscription service. Now you get access to xCloud, you get access to,
or maybe they big brain it and it's like a 1 year of Xbox Game Pass, $60 comes with Xbox Keystone.
Yeah. Oh,
and
maybe
then,
that's what they do. Yeah.
And then that way they get their subscriber count up, which makes Game Pass more lucrative for developers to be on it.
Can I say something, dude?
Yeah.
You know what's funny now that you mention this is if xCloud works like Microsoft wants it to, then they won't even need a next generation Xbox. They'll just be the Keystone and you plug it in.
The Xbox Keystone.
The Xbox.
Yeah.
You don't even need. Why would you need a console when you could just Keystone it and then be completely subscription based?
Yeah.
That's it. No buying your games anymore. No more owning a license, dude. Fuck that. You're going to pay us monthly.
You will own nothing and like it.
Exactly. You will own nothing like it. That's probably why I kind of like subconsciously hate these streaming service bullshit. Like xCloud.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Phil Spencer has said that there will always be an Xbox. So
yeah, Xbox fucking stick.
Xbox
plug it in,
stick, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Stick.
Yeah, plug in your Xbox stick, bro, and play xCloud games on it. Yeah, whatever.
Cloudy
dude.
boys,
dude. That's the thing. These companies always renege on some bullshit they've said in the past. Every time, it happens every time. You know, I can't think of an example right now, but I just trust me. And so it's like there's if xCloud takes off, why would there be an Xbox? They would want to. They're going to go the Adobe route. You're going to own nothing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
True.
And they want to do that. That's apparently the trend. That's been the trend. Subscription services have been the trend.
You will own nothing.
Yeah, and like it's really good for them. Think about it. That piracy goes out the window. You
Gone.
don't even get to run the code on your machine.
Weird, right?
Yeah. Like, how would you can't pirate it if you can't like touch the fucking machine. If you're just getting a stream, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's it kills piracy outright. Anyway, dude, I don't know. I just I'm still the main problem I have against streaming is the latency concern. I don't like the fact that there is latency. I'm very sensitive to any kind of input latency, any kind of networking latency. Like any delay between input and action, I'm sensitive.
You're out. You're out.
And that's never going to go away
No.
on an xCloud type of solution. So that's why I'm not a big fan of it. But people are playing like freaking, aren't people playing like Destiny 2? And
I don't know.
similar games like streaming them. Yeah, I think so.
I mean, Parsec is good enough that I could play Destiny 2 PvE.
Mm-hmm.
But just like lower lower end missions.
Yeah. Would that be like at Kelly's house, or would it be like at like
Yeah,
your
like Kelly's house.
Like, okay. Yeah, and that's, I mean, yeah.
Like I've logged in and done my Destiny 2 dailies from Kelly's house on Parsec, and like it wasn't an ideal experience, but it was good enough that like I wasn't like this is unplayable. You know what I mean? Like I mean, I still wasn't the worst player on my team. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would never because I was like, oh, this actually isn't too bad. So like I went into a Crucible match, and for those of you who don't know, that's like Destiny PvP.
Right.
That's unplayable. That's no way.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah, that's rough, dude. And like that's the problem with any kind of streaming is you're gonna have that input lag, input latency, and it's just gonna kill it. I remember when input lag first started to be a problem. It's when I transitioned from a CRT to an LCD display.
Mm-hmm.
I remember because I used to play Guitar Hero, right? And I had in my bedroom a big ass CRT.
I never played Guitar Hero on a CRT, so that's interesting.
You have zero input lag, right? It's like literally instant, so you don't have to worry about.
You could configure that though in settings on Guitar Hero.
You can, so that's when it became relevant. Like you had to configure the game for the input lag, and even then, there was still a delay between you hitting a note and then the fire coming out of it right on the screen because it doesn't know that it's not going to show you what you did until later. It's just going to give you a bigger window of like, where you're correct, I guess, on the note hitting. But I don't know. It was just funny. I remember when it first started to bug me. And ever since, I'll say nowadays, we have really low input lag on a lot of displays. Like you have most computer monitors now that are gaming advertised are like 0.1 millisecond delay or whatever. That might not be real. Really the case.
I think is what it says.
But the input is very low on these OLED displays. It's actually really, really good. The input lag on them. So, and at 120 hertz, it's even better. So, like we've gotten to the point now where CRT, it's still kind of the gold standard for that, but it's not, the modern displays aren't far behind or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So but like nowadays you're introducing different latencies, like network, if you do a streaming service. So that would be the reason I don't really care for those platforms.
I get that.
But I do think that,
which is kind of why you're excited for the Steam Deck, because it gives you that mobility locally.
And that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. I can run the games on device, and that's always going to be the most premium, low latency option, right? If you can run the game locally, and that's why I like it. And as much as I'm not Microsoft, I can't see these statistics on like what people want, right? Like I don't have like access to big data like Microsoft does. So maybe they think, they project into the future, like Google, like all these other companies, that streaming services are the future and it's the future of gaming, right?
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here, right? Like, again, like there are a lot of people who are like below the poverty line or don't have a lot of expendable income for whatever reason that may be.
Right.
And, $400, $500, it may be out of the question, like completely out of the question,
Yeah, maybe.
So I'm all for getting more people interested in something I'm passionate about, and that's gaming, So like, while I don't disagree with you, I also like the idea of lowering the price to entry to play really good games.
So like I think that if you can't afford, like, I don't know. I think that what's the cheapest entry to gaming right now, right?
Probably the Series S.
Series S. So how much is the Series S? That's like
$299.
$299. I mean, that's if you get an Xbox, right? So you could get also like a Switch or something for cheaper, right? So like
I don't know what the Switch Lite is.
$250 maybe. Like the Switch Lite is pretty cheap. I think it's like $200, right?
But then you also have to buy a game. So.
Well, you're talking about if you go for like xCloud or something, right?
No, just Game Pass.
Oh yeah, sorry, Game Pass, right? So. Okay, so your argument is with Game Pass as kind of like an incentive, Xbox is the cheapest way to really
I would say
game.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
And I think that's fair because like if you say you buy a $299 Switch Lite, and okay, that might be the most affordable console, but now you're gonna have to pay like $60 for a Mario game, dude.
Yeah.
So
you're buying a Mario game, let's be real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're gonna get Mario Kart. Everyone's still buying Mario Kart. Apparently, it's like one of the biggest top sellers.
Yeah.
Even though Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is like a Wii game, a Wii U game that they brought over.
It's just a Wii U game with all the DLC, right?
Exactly. And like they've literally, that's been like one of their biggest earners still.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, it's 5 years into the Switch's cycle, and that's not even a Switch game. So, like, you're going to be paying those $60. And whereas you get like an Xbox, maybe a Series S, and then you get like Game Pass, now you're getting like crazy good value. Right? Like, because the value might not be in the cheaper console, but the games you're going to get access to, so many. So, I mean, yeah, that's the biggest entry point right now. But xCloud would be even cheaper because if you could buy one of these dongles for like $50, I don't know how much it's going to cost. I'm just going off of like, say, Google TV right now. If I buy that Google TV stick,
that's kind of where I'm going with it. Right? You know what I mean? Like they may even go the Stadia route and bundle it with a month of Game Pass, a controller, and the Keystone for $60. That would be crazy.
Yeah, and you know what I'm kind of wondering, because we obviously where Microsoft's trying to go, but where's Sony? You know what I mean? Like, what are they going to do? Because they have to compete.
So, on the whole, and this kind of goes back to what you asked before. Despite me playing more games on my Xbox, I prefer my PS5 because of the exclusives. I think PS5 has better exclusives. I just played through Forbidden West, and like that game looks better than anything I played on PC in a long time.
So let me actually
great game, but like.
Comment on something real quick.
Sure.
So I think it's interesting that Sony's kind of going in a little bit of a different direction. This is based off of some assumptions I'm making, but it's also based off of this Verge article that I'm pulling up right here, which says Sony wants about half its games to be on PC and mobile by 2025, right? And this comes out after, they had the company's annual investor day, and they have like a little PowerPoint slide here. And it basically shows their projections. So they want to have like half their video game portfolio to exist on the PC and mobile, right? And that's pretty interesting, right? Because we've been seeing Sony first party games come to PC, right? Like we've got God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn,
Death Stranding.
Yeah, exactly. Amazing games coming to PC. And, they're probably they want to expand mobile too. So I don't know what that means, whether it's iOS or Android or what, but it's pretty interesting to see that they're investing in other platforms other than their own hardware. Right.
Right.
And I don't know if that's because, they're just making big money on PC,
I'm going to take a stab at it and say that if you look at the launch cycle, the games that they did release on PC, right? Like they're maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years after they've launched on PS5.
Right.
I think that Sony is kind of the mindset that like, look, anyone who is buying this game on who's a PS5 customer and wanted this game already has it, or they're not going to get it.
Right.
So if we want to squeeze more money out of this game, we put it on PC, because then all the people who aren't Sony boys but want to play the good game,
right,
they're going to give us the money for it. So you see what I'm trying to say here? Is like, I think that like I think it's more of greed.
Yeah. You know what I think is interesting? Let me just say this. This is another reason why PC is the best platform, dude. We get Sony and Xbox titles. You get
Yeah,
Microsoft's bringing a lot of their mainstream titles to PC too. You got you got Halo on PC now. And now we got Sony's big titles coming to PC, and it might be a delayed, but
It's still
we
coming.
still get it, and
It's still
that's
coming.
what makes PC so awesome.
Still coming.
If you just want to have one platform that can do it all, it might do it late. We get Nintendo stuff too. Monster Hunter Rise was a Nintendo Switch exclusive for a year, and then it came to PC. So we get it all. That's the beauty.
Since this is kind of a gaming podcast today,
It feels like it. Yeah.
I want to bring up another topic.
Sure.
And you could probably Google an article. There's in the rumor mill that Apple may buy Electronic Arts.
Yeah, so I did read that as well. Very interesting. So I think Electronic Arts are selling some of their divisions and selling some of their IPs, which
Speaking
is wild.
Bizarre, right? Like,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't have it in front of me. So this is pure speculation. But like, why do you think they would do that? Because like the way I see it, it's like, I know everyone's been shitting on EA for a long time, but why would they want to sell some of their beloved IPs or like maybe even be bought out entirely?
you could pull up this article too, because it's also Bizarro World. It's my understanding that Ubisoft sold off a lot of its really popular first-party studios, like Crystal Dynamics for Tomb Raider. Like, I don't think Ubisoft owns that anymore because they needed capital to invest in NFTs.
Oh my God. What?
To pull it up.
Hold
Pull it
on.
up.
Can you pull up the Ubisoft thing? I'm pulling up the EA thing. So I know Ubisoft was going hard into the NFT stuff. And then I don't know. I know a lot of backlash came out about the Ubisoft.
It's a Square Enix. Sorry, not.
Oh yeah.
not,
They were selling. Yeah, Square was selling a ton of stuff.
Yeah. To invest in blockchain, they needed capital. So like they're selling off all this stuff.
I mean, what
Really weird
what a
stuff.
weird investment. I mean,
Really weird.
it's the weirdest time to do it. Right when there's so much backlash for the NFT stuff.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna pull this out.
Really
Yeah.
weird stuff, man. Really weird.
It is. I mean, so what IPs are they selling? Tomb Raider? Looks like maybe.
It's in the article.
It says three other. It says Deus Ex, Thief, Legacy of Kain. Okay. So
But like Tomb Raider is a big one, right?
yeah. So they're selling these. Cut down on costs and looking at blockchain technology. Yeah.
Weird, isn't it, man?
Blockchain, AI, and the cloud. So
Wow,
I don't think
there's
this
that
is going to be a
buzzword,
win, dude. I
Dude,
don't
there's
think
so many
this
buzzwords in that statement. Blockchain, AI, cloud.
Isn't that wild? Like, to me, they're giving up items of substance for speculation.
They're giving up items of substance for they're basically buying Roku bucks.
Dude, yeah, dude. Robux or some
You
shit.
know what they are, man. Yeah.
Roblox bucks, whatever.
Roblox bucks.
Yeah,
dude.
dude.
Say
My
Roku
son
bucks.
does plays that shit. Yeah, Roku bucks. I don't know, dude. Like,
That's what you buy TCL TVs with.
dude, isn't it wild? So like, I really hate what like big tech is turning into, dude, with this bullshit. Fucking wild. It reminds me of I was watching some shit earlier today about the metaverse and like what Zuckerberg's trying to do, and
It's crazy,
fucking
man.
stupid, dude.
Wait, can
Metaverse
I
is
tell you?
stupid. Yeah.
Can I tell you? Like, I really want a Quest 2, but like, hell no.
Yeah, it's not even called a Quest anymore. It's called the fucking Meta some bullshit.
What the
they
hell
renamed
is a
it.
Meta?
They renamed the Quest. It's not the
So-
Oculus Quest. It's the Meta Quest, is what it is. Sorry.
Dude, do you realize that for that product, like Oculus is literally the best name on the planet? Like,
No, they gave it up, dude. It's all Meta now. Yeah, they gave up Oculus. It's Meta Quest now. It's not.
Are
And
you
they even put
shitting
the
me?
logo. They put the Meta logo on it now.
my God,
and they got
dude.
rid of the Oculus logo. Yeah, it was like a respected name in VR. And then Facebook came in. And it's like, nah, dude, we Meta now. And then
weird.
it's stupid.
oh, speaking of a company that says that they'll never do anything, Facebook said that they'll never make you use a Facebook login for fucking
Yeah.
Oculus.
That's
and then
what
like
I'm saying. They took
Yeah.
that shit back.
Yeah,
they
dude, you
always
want an
renege on
example?
stuff.
There we go,
that's the
dude.
biggest
the
one.
renege.
That's what they do. They freaking say, "Oh, we're gonna freaking do this. Don't worry about it, bros." And then like 2 seconds. That's why you can't trust these motherfuckers
Dude,
because
there
they
you go,
always
dude.
I'm so glad you pulled that out because that is the prime example I was thinking about today.
Primo, dude.
I was watching a
Primo.
video. It talked about what Facebook's trying to do with Meta and like how we already got like VR chat and it's doing it way better already with no bullshit monetization, no corporate friendly avatars and shit. It's like Wild West. Just
dude,
whatever
like
people,
weebs
whatever.
and tails.
Well, that's what I'm saying, dude. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely weebs are on there, dude. But like anything, anybody's on there.
You're like, oh, for sure, there's weebs.
I mean, dude, there's weebs on there, and I mean, dude, think about it. Where the weebs go, that's where the real shit's at. You know
That's
what I'm
true.
saying?
That's
Weebs
true,
aren't
dude.
on fucking Meta, and you know what
No.
else isn't on Meta? Fucking everything. Nothing's on Meta,
Really?
dude. Nothing. Meta sucks. Meta, the VR chat clone that they have is so like. You know, it reminds me of corporate art. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
On like the corporate pages where it's like you have those like weird little people, and you know what I'm talking about? Corporate art, right? You ever? It's like that where it's like trying to be fun, but it ends up being like stupid and lame as hell, with no inspiration and no artistic like direction.
No human input,
No
dude.
human input. It's literally
Yeah,
like it's literally corporate capitalist bullshit.
there you go.
It's
dude.
like it's wild. And that's basically what the metaverse is right now. It's not exciting. It's just like Zuckerberg wants you to go in and make content on their platform that you can sell and they'll take a 50% cut of.
50%.
I don't think it's quite 50, but it's like definitely like 40 or something.
Oh,
it's like
man.
a chunk.
Chunky boy, dude.
So they're literally taking like almost half of the profits
The Zuck
of any.
is
It's like
sucking the greed, dude.
And that's what bothers me about like the current like big tech is like NFTs. We're trying to get into the blockchain and use these like buzzword bingo bullshit, cloud
Dude,
AI.
you can tell
all those
right
things.
away when there's like a boomer in a meeting because he's like AI, blockchain, NFTs,
It's like there's nothing of
blockchain
substance
technology. Yeah.
So when you see Square selling IPs of substance that actually produce like actual tangible shit, they're selling tangible assets for invisible bullshit. And it's
Yeah.
just wild to me. But like circling back, going back in time, we were talking about EA. Okay. So now I think it would be really cool if Apple bought EA.
I think so too.
I think so too. I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's pretty much a given because
No one likes EA.
no one likes EA. And if Apple came in and said, all right, we're going to change the way EA does stuff. Maybe we're going to bring a lot of EA IPs to the to Apple platforms, like probably Apple Arcade and other things. I think that'd be a big win for
The
EA.
Mac App Store. Yeah.
Exactly, because what do they got? Nothing. Nothing's on the Mac
They have
App Store,
Mist
dude.
and Civ 6.
What is it?
Mist
Oh, and Civ 6?
and Civ
And
6.
Tomb Raider's on there.
Oh,
Speaking
Tomb
of.
Raider. Yeah.
Yeah,
Tomb Raider. There you
get
go.
Tomb Raider on there. But
3 games.
yeah, there's like no. Why would you go to the Mac App Store for anything? You won't.
Well, you can go there for Tomb Raider, Civ 6, and
It's wild.
Whatever
They don't
that
even make
missed.
it easy to look at iPad apps on there. You have to
No.
you have
Yeah.
to do a search
And
and
then
then you have to
click that
click
tab.
on yeah.
Yeah.
It's like why isn't there an iPad category I can click on and look
Yeah.
at the best iPad apps and then to download they don't so the Mac App Store sucks.
Yeah,
Apple
that's
Arcade's
rugged.
good though.
yeah.
So-
I love Apple Arcade. I've been playing Archero like it's going out of business,
What's
dude.
that?
It's like a mobile monetized because they all are, but it's like a roguelike. I don't know. It's
Okay.
cool. Yeah.
Well, Apple Arcade games didn't have like any kind of in-app purchases and stuff. They were
Yeah,
like
this one isn't actually like a sanctioned arcade game. I just
Okay.
played on my iPhone.
okay, so it's just a game on
Yeah.
the freaking Apple, in the store.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things about the about Apple Arcade is they don't put microtransactions in any of the games.
What
They're
else
like,
is cool
you know.
to your point about that is like that Castlevania game was monetized to hell and back. But then when Apple Arcade got it, they removed all the microtransactions.
Oh
I thought that was pretty
man,
cool.
that's gonna be the definitive version of the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it's going to be an actual game and not like something
Yeah.
trying to like that's the problem with mobile games is they're specifically designed and social engineered and fucking like
Yeah.
to suck your money
to
out.
bait you, dude.
Yeah, it's like we're going to make the game just fun enough to where like you'll want to spend money on it.
Yeah,
Like,
so
that's the way they
so
do
like
it.
they'll give you like an hour of like typical progression. You're like, oh man, this game is great. I can't wait to see the next level. And then like you see the next level, like, oh cool. And then it immediately you just hit like a straight line of like progress, and it's like pay 99 cents because the first one's really cheap, right? Because that's how they suck you in. The first one's really cheap, so you think you get good value, and then the next one is like $12.
That's what they do, man. Like you hit these progression walls, and then you got to pay up, man. And that's why I hate mobile games, because I mean, I play some of them, but like
I was gonna say, don't you play like that, like Weeb Taxi or whatever it's called?
Well, I play Azure Lane, which is a gacha game. Yeah,
I was close.
Yeah, Weeb Taxi. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh my god, no, Azure Lane's a definitely a waifu gacha game, right? So I do play that. It's pretty generous though. So that game doesn't really. It's pretty generous with like how you can play the game. I have spent money on it though, so I'm definitely a part of the problem.
How much, Whale?
I probably spent like $60 on it, yeah. Oh. But like that's kind of where I cut the line, because that's like a premium game. You know what I mean?
Well, you spent $100 on Halo Infinite, dude. Whale, day one, Whale, dude.
That was bad choice too. Yeah, and I thought Whale, that was an investment, because I was like, this is the
game I'm gonna play forever.
I'm gonna play Halo Infinite, and like here's another thing: Halo Infinite's kind of like not really their final Halo game, but they say like new content's going to be constantly coming to it, both multiplayer and campaign content.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a living game.
Exactly. So I was like, if I put $100 in early, I don't really feel so bad, because over the life of playing the game, and I haven't spent all my points, like they're still on there. But you know what pisses me off is they lowered the price of all their premium stuff like after the first couple of weeks, and I had already spent like money on like their most premium store items.
That early adopter tax, you paid it, dude.
I did, dude. So like this is what pisses me off about gaming today, dude, is like there's so much like scummy bullshit.
It's predatory. Like
it's predatory.
Like see, like well, like back in the day, right? Like that's why I was kind of like, you know, really excited to play Diablo 2 Resurrected again, because when Diablo 2 came out, like game studios made money by releasing a good fucking game.
Imagine that, dude.
Like that was the criteria to make money.
Yeah.
Like do you want profit? Make a good game.
Yes.
Done. Where now it's like, do you want to make money? You now make a business model.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you do predatory tactics and exploitation to make people either you time gate progression, so people have to say subscribe to your game for longer, or you make a microtransaction store and you make it so the natural progression to unlock things is too slow that people want to speed it up, or you know what I mean? Like Halo Infinite, dude, definitely have the store locked down before anything else.
Yeah, I know, it's wild. And that's what pisses me off is Halo Infinite was like a kind of a sorry state of a game. You know, and even today it is.
It still is. There's, I mean, to my understanding, there's still no team snipers. There's still no griff ball. There's
a lot
still
of game
SWAT.
modes. Yeah, it's like it's literally like, why not play MCC, which is the complete polar opposite,
MCC, dude.
Because MCC gives you content, dude, lots of content. Like you get every game and then every game mode imaginable at all these maps. It's just your content overwhelmed with how good Halo Master Chief Collection is. But then you go to Infinite and you're like, dude, this is like watered down. This is like the store, like they want me to buy shit, and it's like that's it. That's what it feels like. And you're just like, how did this happen? It's like the new Halo TV show, dude. Do you see the stuff about that?
No, I've seen it. Don't come on. I don't want to talk about it. It makes me sad. I mean, we can't talk about it, but like,
I'm not gonna, because in case there's
spoilers.
Like one person out there, like my brother, who like legit wants to watch it. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's bad. That's all. It's bad. It's bad. I haven't even watched it either. I refuse. I'm sure there's cool stuff in the show.
I've watched it the first 4 episodes, and then I had to stop.
Yeah. It's just,
but like, I know what happens because
we watch shit, we read shit, we seen it. Yeah. It's like bad, and I'm just completely baffled at like what has happened to Halo, dude. Like,
look what they did to our boy.
Look what they did to our boy. Dude. Like the franchise. We love this shit. I've read books. I've freaking, I've been like, me and my brother, like Halo bros, dude. Like we played so much Halo growing up, and like we're so disappointed in where Halo is.
So did he watch it yet or no?
He watched episode 1.
Okay.
And he wanted me to watch it with him after he watched it. And I was like, bro, don't
he
do
liked
this
it.
to me. I don't know. He said he wanted to get my impression. I think he liked something about episode 1 or something, because he wanted me to watch it. And I was like, look, man, I already know everything. I spoiled myself heavily. I've been watching reviews. I already know I hate it. I already know I hate it.
I hate it.
And I don't want to hate it. I really don't want to hate it. I like Halo, but like everyone that loves Halo, I see online, like the Act Man. Did you watch his video?
Mm-hmm.
He was like, bro,
That's the one where he's wearing like the Xbox hat with all the Halo posters in the background, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just wild. And then I saw like the Asmongold react to the Act Man's video. Amanda linked
I didn't watch
to
that
me.
one just because like I didn't think he was a Halo fan, so like I really didn't care what his input was.
I watched it just because Amanda linked it to me. She doesn't know
Okay.
anything about Halo, but she happened to see that video and watched it. And she linked it to me, and I was like, okay, I'll watch it. I don't really typically watch Asmongold stuff, but he made good points. Like he basically isn't like a big Halo fan, but he knows what Halo was, which was like one of the biggest franchises ever when it launched. And to see it like do what it's doing now, it's literally just, I mean, he basically echoes what everyone else is saying.
Yeah.
You know, so it's wild. It's wild to see this happen to Halo.
I mean, for me, the fact that like Master Chief is involved in like a love story, when like it kind of devalues like the final scene of Infinite to me.
Well, exactly. So it's a different Master Chief altogether. The fact that he has like these relationships like that, it's not something Master Chief would do.
Yeah.
One of the things they do in the show quite a bit is take his helmet off all the time.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
like,
yeah.
Sorry, I was just gonna say that like I have a friend who watches it who's never played Halo, and they're always like, oh, you know, like it's not that bad. Like I'm like, no, it's terrible. You've never played the games, you'll understand. And they said that like, you know, one of the things that like back when Bungie still ran Halo, I remember watching like a Microsoft developer conference or something, because like I was literally like, Halo was my nut. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So like if Bungie was at a conference, if Halo was at a conference, I was interested. And like one of the questions was asked was like, what does Master Chief look like? And Bungie was very adamant about never showing his face because they wanted Halo to be you.
Exactly.
They wanted Halo to be an escape.
Right.
And once you put a human face to it, it's no longer you.
Right. Yeah, and that's true.
They wanted to create a world where you were the hero.
And a lot of games try and do that with their protagonists, like the ones that don't have, like it's like Gordon Freeman, where he doesn't have a voice, right? Mm-hmm. And they do that so you can kind of do a self-insert.
Right,
and that's the same thing with Master Chief. Now, they've definitely tried to develop him a little bit more over the years. He's said more things, but like he's always been kind of like the one-note badass, right?
Yeah.
And that's been good enough, right? And like one of the things is, if you've read the Halo books and you've consumed all the games like I have, you know that, you know, the Spartan 2s are a certain way, and
they're nutty.
They're
like
nutty,
they're
absolutely nutty. And the big meme is like
they're not to have emotions. They're not to have anything. They were stolen from birth and then replaced with clones so their parents wouldn't notice.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
and they explore that in the show, but like in a weird way, like
very weird way.
The like they have the augmentations done, but they're like
Can I tell you?
Yeah.
Can I give like a very small spoiler?
Do it.
I just want to tell you like what really threw me over the edge and why I stopped watching when I did.
Do it.
When they started to portray the UNSC as like the bad guys and like the rebels as the good guys.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm out. I'm out.
No, that's not the way to do it.
All right, we're good here. Yeah.
No.
But like I mean, like there were a lot of problems, but like that was like the straw that broke the camel's back for me.
Yeah, the UNSC aren't the bad guys, right? Like they've never been the bad guys in the Halo universe. Like there's been shades of gray everywhere, right? Like obviously the UNSC aren't perfect, and there's a reason they're a rebel insurrectionists.
They kind of are gray boys, right? Like they're kind of like, you know, like this may not be by the book, but like if we don't do this, humanity's done.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like that was the thing about the Spartan 2 program, is it wasn't really meant for the Covenant. It was meant for the insurrectionists.
Right.
So that's what makes it so fascinating, is like it was a cruel and dark thing they did to, you know, these children or whatever, abducting them and making them super soldiers. And it was, you know, it was a necessity at the time, but it was kind of a dark one. And then, but it turned out, you know, through through, I guess, whatever fate, that the Covenant would attack, and the Spartan 2 program
Was ready.
saved the day, right? So it's an interesting tale to be told, and that's why it's so disappointing to see what they've done with this Halo TV series, taking something that's fascinating and just taking a big shit on it.
Yeah.
It's it was literally cookie cutter easy. All they had to do was take what is already great about the franchise and put it into a fucking TV show. But instead, some writers, and they even said the writers were bragging about never playing or reading the books.
Or knowing anything about it. It's like, why would you?
It's like, why would
that
you
seems like
even
an interesting
write?
choice.
Yeah, like why would you have writers that don't know anything about Halo?
It sounds bizarre, dude, but like if they hired us, we probably could have made a better show.
Well, that's the crazy thing, is we wouldn't have to break the mold. We would just take what they did, what is great about Halo, and then we would pad it out with stuff to make it, work. And like, think about the Halo fans, right? Like, all we want to see is Master Chief with maybe some UNSC, soldiers going in, kicking some ass. Like, we want to see those action scenes, and those were good. Apparently, there were some good ones in the TV show.
There are. The problem that I have with the action scenes is he is almost exclusively using a pistol.
Really?
And
where's the assault rifle, dude?
I mean, like, it's there, but like I would say that like.
Okay, so he's doing like precision shots, like blop blop.
90% of the time he's using a pistol. And like I get it, like it would have been cool like if they like if like he ran out of bullets and he switched to the pistol, and like for the people who have played early Halos, like he got like 3 one-shot like 3 1-kill one-shot 1-kill headshots on brutes and then put it away. Like just give me that like little like homage to like the old game. But like literally his weapon of choice is a pistol.
That doesn't make any sense.
Through and through. It doesn't make any sense.
It's like having a tank that like with a pistol. It doesn't make sense. Like if you're in a wartime scenario, like you might, like if you're in a wartime scenario, you're going to have like ARs or something similar, right? Like you're going to have an actual weapon.
Literally, he is a pistol boy, dude.
That's wild. And like, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
No.
Like there's so many, it sounds like there's so many poor choices with this show. And the writers, I think it's a little bit of arrogance on their part to think that they could do better than what the fans already know is established good shit. Like why do they think like, oh, we're gonna throw out all that good shit and just like do whatever we want? It's absolutely wild. But like, anyway, let's go back. Let's go back to the original topic, man, which was, we talked about Halo.
Oh man, we went everywhere.
We're hopping all over the place.
But hopefully someone finds it interesting.
Hopefully somebody finds our.
You know what though? I will say though, today our ramblings could be all grouped under games. So that's
this is a gaming centric.
Is it a gaming channel now? Game instead? Gamer? Cheeto dust?
Cheeto dust, man. I got some Tostitos in front of me.
Ooh.
They're habanero Tostitos.
Sound pretty good.
I like the guacamole ones though. Those are my favorite ones.
Guacamole Tostitos?
Yeah,
that's a mouthful, dude. There's a lot of syllables in that one.
They're pretty good to dip. Like they got like that. They got like a little bit of guac flavor on them, and then you put them in cheese, dude.
Sounds pretty good, dude.
Done.
Guac. Guac.
Anyway, let's wrap this podcast up, dude. Unless you got any last topics, dude.
I think we're good, man.
Let's wrap it, dude.
Wrap it up, dude.
Anyway, thanks for listening and watching the Technosthetic podcast. Check us out on technosthetic.com and on our YouTube, where you can actually watch us. You can listen to us everywhere else on Spotify, Google Play, whatever. We're everywhere.
All over.
We're all over. And give us a like, comment, subscribe, do all that.
Let us know. Let us know how you like the Halo series.
Yeah. And we'll see you guys next time on the podcast.